Okay, today I'm going to go over you how to find slope from a table. So we worked on slope from a graph, and now we're going to find slope from a table. Slope is also known as the constant rate of change, where the rate of change is constant. It's moving at the same rate. So it's a pattern. And as you move from one point to the next. To find that slope or that rate of change, you're going to find the change in the y values and compare them to the change in the x values using the ratio change in y over change in x. Or this little triangle right here is delta y, which represents change in the y over the change in the x. And how do you find the change in the y values? Well, you just take the difference in the y values over the difference of the x values. Difference just means subtracting. Difference in the y values over the difference in the x values. Okay, so let's look at this first example. So we have a table of points, and our first point is negative 11, 19, then it goes to negative 5, 1, then 1, negative 17, and then 7, negative 35. So if you look at the change in the y, we went from 19 to 1, so that is decreasing 18 or subtracting 18. 1 to negative 17 is also down 18. And then negative 17 to negative 35, is a change of negative 18. We're subtracting 18. The x values, negative 11 to negative 5 is adding 6. Negative 5 to positive 1 is up 6. And 1 to 7 is up 6. So you're changing your y values. We're going to put that number on top. It's negative 18. And then you're changing your x is positive 6. So that can be simplified to a slope of negative 3. Okay, so let's try some on our own or together. So let's look at this table. Using the table, we're going to find the ratio of the change in the y. This is the change in the y over here on the right side. So 60 to 120 is plus 60. 120 to 180 is also plus 60. We're adding 60, increasing, and plus 60. And then our change in our x values, 1 to 2 is plus 1, 2 to 3 is plus 1, 3 to 4 is plus 1. So our slope is going to be 60 over 1, which is just a slope, just equals 60. Okay. We always put the vertical change on top and the horizontal change on the bottom. Okay, number 2. A lot of this you can do mentally if the numbers are simple like this. 3 to 6. Well, I can go 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going up 3. And then 6 to 9 is plus 3, and 9 to 12 is plus 3. Now let's look at our x's. Negative 2 to negative 1 is actually plus 1 because we're getting closer to 0. Negative 1 to 0 is plus 1. And then 0 to 1 is plus 1. So our slope would be 3 over 1, which is just the whole number 3, a slope of 3. Okay, let's try number 3. Negative 10 to negative 6. I know that's a change of 4, but is it adding 4 or subtracting 4? Yes, it's adding 4. And then negative 6 to 2 is adding 4. And then negative 2 to positive 2 is plus 4. So this is our change in y. And then our change in x is plus 6. Negative 9 plus 6 is negative 3. Negative 3 plus 6 would be positive 3, and then 3 plus 6 is 9. So my slope, which is, again, remember the change in y is on top, the change in x is on the bottom, so that's going to be 4 over 6. And then we always want to simplify any ratio that can be reduced. So this can be reduced by a factor of 2. So that would simplify just to 2/3. And that is the slope from that table. Okay, I want you to pause it and try number, well actually, since number 4 is different, I'm going to do this one with y'all. So change in y. Let's look at this y value. All of this is the same number, so there's actually no change. -8 to -8 to -8 to -8. We're not changing the y value, so the change in the y is 0. The change in the x is +1, +1, +1. So again, remember, change in y goes on top, change in x on the bottom. So if I have 0 over 1, that's just going to be a slope of 0, and we talked about slopes of 0 is just going to be a horizontal line. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna stop the video, and then we're gonna do. I want you to try the last 4, and we'll check them on the next video.